Hey, Winston here with the Real Estate Template. I am gonna talk a little bit about what it takes to build a house. We got several people that are contacting us, talking to us, trying to figure out how can I go in and build a house. I've never built a house before. I don't know how to build a house. I don't know how to do this. As an individual wanting to go out and build a house, having never done it before, I don't know that I would suggest that if it wasn't your personal residence without a little bit of guidance. So the guidance I would say for somebody that's an investor and you're wanting to build a house that you're going to rent, or maybe even build a house you're going to sell, it doesn't really matter. If you have no experience, then you have to connect with in my opinion, I think you have to connect with a local general contractor to start off with and let the general contractor know that, hey, I'm going to be building several houses and I want to build a relationship with you and I want to be involved in the construction because I want to learn what it takes to build a house. I don't want to just turn it over to you and not come back to the house is done. I want to come in and do a weekly walkthrough. I want to be able to talk to you, discuss with you, talk about the trades and what's going on. And let that contractor come in, let him pull the permits, or her, let him pull the permits. Go ahead and maybe spend a little time dealing with the city. When you're dealing with the city or the county, whenever you're pulling a permit, it's not hard. All you gotta do is go in there, bring them a set of blueprints, fill out your application fee. And where I am, if I'm building a house for myself, I think I can build 2 a year or 1 a year or 1 every 2 years, something like that, that I can build locally with no licenses. So I can go out, I can pull the permit for it, and then I can go out and I can find me an electrical contractor, a mechanical contractor for air conditioning, a plumbing contractor. I can find all these different contractors. But I don't think that from the start, if you have never done it before, I don't think I would approach it that way. I would do a house with a general contractor managing it and you just paying real close attention to it, get through that process. And once the house is sold, you're gonna lose maybe 15% of your profit to that general contractor. And that's okay. You're giving up that 15% for experience. And experience is king. You want to know what to do and what not to do. People like me are always there. We're available for conversations or to talk somebody through something that's struggling to build a house or something like that. I don't mind any conversations like that with people, but you want to get through that first house, understand it, and then reevaluate. When you reevaluate, you look at it and say, well, do I want to try and do this next one on my own or do I want to use a contractor again? If it was me, I would probably use a contractor for the second house and understand the procedure because every procedure is a little bit different. Every house is a little bit different. There's a different monkey wrench that's thrown in here and a different monkey wrench that's thrown in over there that causes you some problems. Maybe you have a septic in one and a city sewer on the other. You may be in a different electrical corporation that's handling one electric power company handles here and a different electric power company handles over here. And they demand different stuff. So it just helps you to understand. I don't want to discourage anybody from doing it. I think everybody that's doing it, for me to make great money in what I'm doing, I have to build the houses myself. I really can't go buy somebody's house and make near the amount of money that I can make off of renting a house that I build myself. And that is what I see here as I talk to people in other states. It's the same thing. What they can get a house built for compared to what they can go buy a house for and do it, it's just not the same. I'm buying a house at retail value. It's the difference between, I've been going on a lot of house tours here lately, and I'm working with a real estate company that is looking at possibly building a brand where we can go in and we can look at a house for a potential investor. We can run the numbers, we can dissect it down, and we can give it to the person looking to buy it. And maybe they buy the house, maybe they don't buy the house, but they at least know what the numbers are. So we're looking at doing stuff like that. But I know my numbers from going to try and buy. If I go buy a house built in the 1990s, 1980s, hell, they running as much as a brand new house or more than a brand new house if you built it. There's not a whole lot of difference if you're looking at retail on a brand new house and retail on a house 20 years ago. That was built 20 years ago. It's almost the same money. It's just crazy. So I don't want y'all to get caught up in all of that right there. What I want you to get caught up in is the fact of how can I make the most amount of money if I'm going to be an investor? And number one, we got a lot of videos on running numbers. Know those numbers. Don't do anything without knowing those numbers. I had dinner last night with a construction guy. They built about 100 houses here in Nashville. And as we were talking, he said they do everything through an app. So all of their budgets on an app, and as they're building a house for their clients, every day, anything that's done on that house is updated on the app. So the homeowner can actually look at the app or the person that's hired them to build the house, it may be an investor, but whoever's doing that, they can look at their app, it'll tell them where they are, whether they're over budget, under budget, what's coming up, what's going to happen this week, what's going to happen next week, and it's giving them the timeline on everything, and it's holding everybody accountable. So if you was going to do it, I would definitely use a contractor that's going to have an app like that you can have access to, and you got notifications every single day or every single week that's telling you what's going on with the house and where we are. And then weekly at least, go by and look at what's going on. Just look at the most minute stuff. You look at how the rafters are put in up top. Look at how they put your ceiling joists in, and then they put hurricane ties on different things. And just look at how it goes together. Ask some questions. Why are these metal clips on there? What is that for? And as you're asking the questions and get your answers, it's just helping you understand the process. And the reason I said you might want to do 2 houses or 3 houses with the same contractor is that gives you the opportunity to ask the questions, and you will get a better understanding the more you dive into it and the more you see what's going on. I know a lot of people that started from scratch and just built their first house and never built one before. I know a lot of people that does. It's definitely doable. It's doable for anybody. But how you approach it needs to be that you are not taking any risk, or minimum risk at best, and never taking more risk than what you can get out of your money. You know, if I'm gonna build a house, it's always gonna be a fact that I'm in great shape on my land costs, I'm in great shape when I start framing, foundation, and at any point if I stopped, I could sell that house or that property and not lose any money. That would be my goal. My goal the whole way through would be I can sell it and I won't lose any money at any given time. Maybe I don't make any money, but I don't lose any money. I can go without making money, but I really hate the fact of losing money. So let's protect ourselves from that kind of stuff also, and just make sure that you know your numbers, make sure you understand the contractor, get references from the contractor you're gonna use. Find out who his subs are. Get some references from them. Understand exactly who you're dealing with. Know that you're not dealing with a contractor that's gonna steal your money, and there's a lot of contractors that there could be a possibility for them to steal your money. Make sure that the subcontractors they're using are licensed. Make sure that everything is done properly, because if you don't have licensed contractors and something goes wrong, you don't get covered. If you don't have licensed contractors and they don't really care, they may run off and take your money. Just protect yourself every step of the way. I have a hard issue with me is I always see what's good in people and I rarely see the bad in people. And I'm gonna tell you, that will get you screwed over faster than anyone can imagine when you only look at the good in people. So it's a hard thing to do, to start looking and saying, oh, I gotta find out what if. We got to live our lives knowing that, hey, this is where we are, but this does not mean this is where we're going to be. So cover your behind. Everything in writing. Don't do anything on a handshake. Don't do anything without a contract. If there's going to be change orders on your job site, written change orders, no verbal anything. And I would have it in my contract. No verbal communication as far as change orders and things like that. If it's going to cost you more money, you want it in writing. Because if you got that in your contract, in writing in your contract, it says, hey, in order for a change order to be billed to me, I have to sign off on it. That's going to make the contractor make you sign off on it, and then you do it. That's going to also stop the contractor saying, oh no, we had a phone call and we talked about me having to change the way this wall's put in, there was going to be more money. That doesn't work. That's a good way to start losing a lot of money and losing your position on a house and go from a good positive position to a negative position. So always do everything in writing. That's just Construction 101, just to let you know how it goes. Thank you very much.